Hey, everybody. Welcome back. We have made it. We have missed you. We are here finally, back at our normal time for a week until we change the time next week, and then we'll be back to the regular time after that. But for this week, we are here Wednesday night, 5:30. It is Prep Talk Live. I'm Casey with Cascadia Dispatch. Joining me, as always, on this wonderful, auspicious 14th episode is the urban prepper himself. Tup,
Hello.
what's up? How was your week?
My week was good. Sorry for the folks that were tuning in last week and the show got canceled. It was I'm going to blame the algorithms on it, and some of those AI bots got us. They took us down. No, they,
exactly.
I'm going to start a rumor. Attack. It was a cyber attack towards us. But we had our people work through it, and now it's we're back up and running. But
yeah, exactly.
But yeah, no, all in all, things are going pretty good, and it's just sometimes work and personal stuff becomes busy at times. So
yeah. So and for some context for our viewing audience, this whole idea, this whole Prep Talk Live came out of the idea from Tup and I having a couple of conversations about how busy things were getting, how work was picking up, and it was kind of crazy for us because we're each one-man shows when it comes to our videos, and how could we keep bringing out content when we didn't necessarily have time to actually make individual videos like we would like to. And so the idea was, hey, we'll throw this show together. We'll come on. We'll talk to the people. Everyone has reacted really, really great to other live streams that we've done and our videos. So, hey, we'll come on. We'll do very little prep. Most of it happens at 4 o'clock in the morning for me. And I text Tup and he's like, that sounds great. And then we just come on. So every once in a while, we're going to have these scheduling issues. Things are going to go a little bit haywire. We appreciate you all sticking with us, bouncing around, watching the replays, sending in questions. I have to tell you, I got an email from Pigs Fly, and I see her in the chat right now. She says hello. I say hello back. She sent over, and you don't even know this because I haven't talked to you about it yet.
Well,
she sent over a list of questions for us,
cool,
and a list of questions for our wives. Well, and I am so excited.
When are we doing that? Are we doing that tonight?
Well, so the I put community request. We had one of the questions, the big budget prep idea, came from Pigs Fly. So I feel like we'll work through some of her general questions. I think we're gonna have a wives' night, and I think we'll do that. They won't be on because
my wife won't show up. But
yeah, exactly. Mine. I don't know. She'll be sick or something. She just won't be here. But we'll get their answers and then we'll present them. And so I think that'll be really exciting. So to anyone else who's watching, by the way, if you do have questions, send them over, because I think these community request ideas and community response, that's one of the things that we love to do. And so so go ahead and send it. Yes, we're very happy. The list was fantastic. I loved everything about it. And you know what it meant, Pigs Fly? And this is the most important thing to me, is I didn't have to think of an idea at 4 o'clock in the morning today. I just took one of your questions and sent it to Tup. And I was like, this is what we're doing. This is what's happening.
Great. So yeah, a lot of familiar faces in the chat room. I see already. Good to see Amy Fresh, and got Bernie in there. Daniel Mom's.
Bernie apparently was going to be Tup's wife, and I feel like
it's going to be a stand-in, a pinch hitter. Call it a lefty. So who's talking about the bougie prepper? That's funny.
Oh, bougie prepper. Oh, Chuck. Yeah. Chuck, you have no idea what I have brought for you today. Not only are we doing big budget preps, but this week has been, it's like the only way I can describe it is bougie preps. Yeah. So we're working on the sweatshirt, but yeah, bougie preps are happening in a whole way tonight. So Tup,
Vivian's new here too. It looks like I see a message from Vivian.
We got
welcome Vivian. Yeah,
welcome Vivian. Welcome. We got some of the usual suspects here. Finest Amy Fresh is shouting out to Bernie. Bernie's shouting out to her. We got all the people are here. I'm watching the viewer numbers go. Like, this is fantastic. If you haven't already, before we get into the meat of this evening, if you haven't hit the like button, please go ahead and smash the like button. It helps with the algorithm. It helps push this out to more people. We've seen a really nice uptick in viewership over the last several weeks, and we want to continue that going on. Casual Prepper Podcasts celebrated 3 million downloads of their podcast this week.
Yeah, they're doing really great, and their TikTok is really good. I love their. I mean, I like their podcast, but I like the short little TikTok videos. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, we're gonna give their TikTok a run for their money. They don't know it yet, but we're gonna do that. And speaking of which, I'm going to give them a shout out because I told them that I would. They have a new little mini series podcast
Mhm.
that's coming out. It's coming out at the end of this month. I want to say it's like March 25th or something like that. They didn't sponsor this little shout out, so the details may be a little mushy, but hey, it is what it is. So it's coming out. It's about bugging out. I think it's 5 episodes that they're doing. They're partnering with BattleBox. And so I think it's going to be a really cool thing. If you love their content, this is going to be a great thing. So go ahead and go check that out. Let them know that we sent you, by the way. Let them know that Prep Talk Live sent you to them. And one of these days we're going to have them do some sort of a collaboration with us and do a whole Casual Preppers Meet Prep Talk Live, Prepping 101 something. I don't know. We'll do something like that. But I feel like I just talked a lot. Tup, how was your week?
That was an epic intro. So
sometimes I get going. I had an extra coffee this afternoon, I think, because of things that were going on. So anyway, how was your week? What'd you do? What's going on?
Do I talk about what I did, or do I do show and tell, or what do we think?
Well, let's do what you did this week, because let's start
what
with
I did
that.
is it ties.
Is that what?
Okay, it ties into my show and tell. So
all right, well then we'll go with that, because as you know, here we have a very rough whole thing. We have a very rough schedule that we run here. So go ahead. We'll just go into wherever.
All right, I'll go first. So I guess I have an announcement to make. So the announcement is I have gas, and so, and so the show and tell item is gasoline. Okay. That was all freestyle too, but no.
This is the best podcast that has ever existed for preppers. Sorry, Casual Prepper Podcast, but you lose.
Yes, I've been working on my. As you all know, the gas prices they're climbing up there. They're at like I am legend level right now, and so previously I was using kind of like the Home Depot style gas cans for like the ones you use for your lawnmower and stuff like that, and those were fine for then. But now I feel like I got to get a little more serious with my gas prep. So I've been upgrading all of our gas storage and going with these fancier ones. This is the Wavian gas can. I don't know if you're familiar with it, but it's basically a NATO jerry can that's EPA approved in all 50 states, because there are some like
fake ones.
You can't do certain things with some of these gas cans anymore unless it's meets up to a certain standards. But these are the ones that NATO uses, and so they're really awesome. So they're so much nicer than like my cheapo lawnmower ones, the plastic ones that get all indented and they never work right. They leak all over the place. These ones are awesome. So I'm working on a video, and it's really cool how you have the integrated nozzle on it. It's all like super high class gear. It's all metal with really nice welding to it. It has locks on it, super secure gaskets. And I made an investment to because I wanted to get my gas preps a lot better, because I'm a little worried that with all this crazy stuff going on right now, that at some point I don't want to have to rely on going to the gas station. So on certain occasions. So I want to get my gas preps in order, and so the Wavian gas can is the one that I've been using, and I'm pretty happy with it. It's the whole jerry can it's a really awesome design. Like it's been around since like World War II. That's how they a lot of battles were probably won because of the jerry can. And so anyway, working on the video on it, but I've been working on my gas storage for the home due to the rising cost of gas going on right now, and the oil prices and all those kind of things. So that's my so again, I have gas, and Wavian is the way that I'm storing my gas. So
you're hedging gas and nickel right now. That's what we're doing. We're just doing that. So where do you find this Wavian gas? Because I've seen jerry cans, and I have what I thought was a very cool plastic gas can. I did not have anything like this thing that you have created. Where would someone find that?
Well, I'll get a link. I'll put it in the chat room, but it's definitely in. You can get it from Amazon. You can get it directly from their site. There's different places that you could get them, and there's a few reviews out there on YouTube. And they're pretty nice. Why am I sorry, I'm spacing on the name. Wrangler Star did a couple nice videos on it, so those are cool ones where he slices them up and dissects them and stuff. I don't have that much money, so I have to, because they're not the cheapest things in the world. But I wanted to improve my gas situation, and Yeah.
They're now less expensive than the gas you would put in them. So I mean,
Yeah,
it
so
can't
like
be that bad.
yeah, so I wonder if it costs more to fill this up than it does to buy it. I don't
Yeah.
know. Who knows? So
um. So yeah. So Pony Girl wants to know: does the gas stay fresher longer in a metal can or a plastic can?
yeah, you
Do
still
you
have to
know?
use stabilizer in it, and gas. A lot of preppers they like going with the diesel because it stores longer. But yeah, you still have to use normal gas, which would last up to 12 months without the stabilizer, like 3 to 12 months. With the stabilizer, you could get up to 24 months. What we do is we try to year annually with the stabilizer, we try to rotate it into the vehicle. So what I'm working on is just making sure that I'm able to fill up both of my vehicle tanks if need be
Yep.
with gas, in addition to any kind of generators too for like power outages.
Nice. Yeah. That's. I think I've got two.
Do you have
Probably
gas? Do you have gas too?
I do,
Okay.
and it has to
Okay.
do with lactose, but it's a whole different thing. Yeah.
Okay, sorry.
Look, anybody who's coming to this podcast at this point knows what they're getting. They understand. We've had flashlights on zippers, we have prepper bulges, we have all kinds of things. Gas is the least thing that we have to worry about.
Yeah.
So I have like 20 gallons. So that's enough to basically fill up both of the cars about 3/4 of the way if we needed to, or one car totally, and then putting one in the back or something like that. We have a small generator, so there's a little bit if we needed that. But because we switched to the natural gas generator for the house, I've not focused as much on, the gas generator we have is really small. So I don't know how much, like, that would be real emergency sort of stuff. And in that case, we probably wouldn't be driving. So I would just divert the gas from the cars to the little generator. But I, wouldn't mind getting some more. I mean, you can't have too much gas, can you? I mean, well, really, can you? Can you have too much?
Yeah, it depends who you're talking to, but
yeah, exactly. Yeah, I always get it, and then I'm not great. I haven't gotten the rotating into the cars thing yet. That's always so. Luckily, we have some neighbors who do a lot of mechanical stuff, and so usually I will recognize that I have long overdone our gas, and then I will give it to them, and then they'll run it through their engines and all that kind of stuff, and then we'll just refill them, from there. But yeah, I need to get better about cycling it in. Tom, I think I don't know. Is that
a real super chat?
I don't know. I've never seen that before.
That's not me.
It's not me either. But so there you go. All right.
Maybe it's just a prank. He just made it to look like it. I don't know.
Tom, if it's real, we thank you, and we love the show as well, and we're glad that you love the show. Yeah, that's you know what? We'll turn this into a TikTok. The moment that we got a super chat or not, we aren't really sure, but it's fantastic. All right, so
$9.99 too, so you could buy 1 gallon of gas. So
yeah, exactly. But I have to say, so my mom's birthday is on Saturday, and I'm not going to divulge her age because that's not polite. Although she might, I think she's proud of it, but we're not gonna go there. But it's a monumental birthday moment. And so we were all trying to decide what we were going to get her, and I called her the other night, and I told her that all of us were chipping in. We were going to buy her a gallon of gas, and that would allow her to travel at least 12 miles in any direction. Yep. She was very excited. She said she was going to roll the windows down, and I told her not to do that because then it would only be 10 miles, and she might not get back home. So, we're all just kind of thinking about those sorts of things. By the way, did you see that nickel went to did you see the nickel news?
I've heard about it, but I haven't been following it too closely.
So this whole, I don't know, whoever follows the commodity markets, welcome to the financial news portion of our podcast. So there was a point 2 years ago when the pandemic first started where demand for gas shrunk so much that the cost of oil actually went negative. And it had to do with that there wasn't enough places to store it. And so people were just trying to unload it because they didn't have a place to put it. And so oil went to negative $1,000 or something. It was the first time it's ever happened in history. And then it bounced back up. So now with everything that's going on with all of the EV stuff, there's certain metals that you need for electric batteries, nickel, cobalt, all this sort of stuff. Well, because of what's going on in the world right now, there's a big question about the supply of nickel. So nickel went from about $23,000 a ton in the morning to all of a sudden it was like $110,000 like by the afternoon. It just went straight. They shut it down. It was crazy. So anyway, for anybody who watches the financial markets, like I tend to do from time to time, it was just a really interesting little moment. But cool. I will return us back to our normally scheduled gas conversation.
Okay. Well, that was my big thing for this week is just getting improving the storage system and where to store them and all those kind of things, and trying to get a better plan put in place. So and
that is fantastic. I need to work on that. So mine was a little different this week.
Okay.
We did. I will say, when it comes to when we talk about our wives getting involved in stuff, my wife did mention to me earlier this week. She's like, "Hey, should we go should we fill up the tank? Should we just make sure that we're topping everything off?" And I was like, yep. I'm so proud right now. I'm so glad I married you. And so we did, and it was wonderful. This was kind of bougie prep week a little bit. Okay. So I'm going to talk about the bougie preps, and then I'm going to talk about my show and tell, which is slightly different. So we got the TikTok freezer. Have you seen the TikTok?
Well, I saw what you got, but I didn't know it was the TikTok freezer.
Yes, it's a Costco finds TikTok freezer. It's been everywhere. And it's a stand-up chest freezer, but it's all drawers. Nice. So I've been talking to some companies that make basket organizers for our chest freezer because we never get to the bottom of our chest freezer. It's always a mess. Well, this now is a stand-up thing with drawers. So very excited to test that out. It's still in our garage. I haven't unwrapped it yet. That's probably going to be this weekend's project, is actually opening it and getting it all ready. But a lot of what we have is, frozen meat and things that'll just fit nicely in the drawers, and it hopefully will allow us to save a little bit of money by not wasting food that gets frozen and lost in the freezer, and also using our freezers more efficiently by having smaller items in the drawers and then the chest freezer. It's also half the price if you find it on Home Depot, it's half the price at Costco. While it's a bougie prep, it's a cheap bougie prep. So there was that.
I gotta check that out. So if I go on TikTok, and I just search for the TikTok freezer, it'll come up.
Yeah, or the Costco freezer or something. It should come up. There's a bunch of TikToks. It's all over like Costco finds and stuff. It popped up a couple of months ago, and it was like, or not a couple months ago, probably a month ago. And it was on a page in Oregon, and I was like, well, that's really weird that it's a thing. You can't find it at every Costco. Like, it doesn't exist everywhere. So it's very cool that it exists, and it happens to exist, I guess, on the West Coast at least. So it's worth checking out.
I know it's kind of off topic, but I see that Abra says it picked up 500 pounds of rice and 200 pounds of pasta.
Wait, where is this? What's happening?
That's big time.
Oh my goodness!
Do you see that?
Okay, I do. Okay,
500 pounds of rice. So I mean,
so that's
50-pound bags of rice. Don't they come in 25-pound bags?
I think it depends. I think Costco sells 50s and 25s.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean that's a lot. But so now, Abra, are you sealing it? Like, are you gonna use like tucked in with the hair straightener, or are you just setting it away? Like, what are you going to do with all of that?
Yeah.
So
we'll see you in the chat room. We'll stay tuned for that. But yeah, I saw that one. That was impressive. That's
Pony Girl. Pony Girl. You know what? It's the perfect size. It's the perfect size. And you know what? If you watch the YouTubes and stuff, I'll have a video that will display it in all of its glory for you. That's what we'll have for you. It's fantastic. It's a little shorter than a normal one, but it does the job. It's great. This is the best podcast ever. Okay. So the second all right. So the other thing, so this was my show and tell. And I talked about it a few weeks ago. And then someone mentioned it. I remember who mentioned it. It was Chuck mentioned it in the question. He was like, "Hey, by the way, where were you guys last week?" And I didn't want to say Tup bailed, that's
Yeah.
just not nice. That's not a thing. And then Tup got onto his thing and was like, well, Cascadia Dispatch was garbage. And it was it was a TikTok war. It ended. It was good. But he wanted to know about the freezer thing. So this is the MySpool, I guess, power outage alerter. I don't know what it's.
Nice.
I don't know. I'll get a link and I'll put it somewhere. But this is what I've now started putting into my garage, into the outlets for our freezer. And the reason is you had shared previously the Reliance alerts with the light and the siren, which we have those, and I had plugged them in, and then we were gone and we came back, and all of a sudden there was a power outage because our garage circuit has a GFI or GFCI or whatever. It's the interrupting one with the button you push. So it popped. So the power in our house was still fine. We didn't know that there was an outage in the garage, but the freezer circuit had failed. And because we were inside, the way our house is situated, we didn't hear the alarm going off to know that everything was out there for 6 or 7 hours, just melting, and ice cream was not good, but everything else was okay. So this is very cool because this you set up and it will send you an email or a text message if the power to the circuit goes out. So this is not if you have, for example, a whole house blackout, you're going to lose your internet service likely. This isn't going to save you. This isn't going to work. But if you have a GFCI situation where the circuit breaks and the rest of your house is going, or if you can't hear the alarm, this will alert you that something's going on. And so if you're traveling, for example, and a circuit pops, this will let you know, so you can text a neighbor and be like, hey, can you go over and hit the button and turn our freezer back on, or go help yourself to the ice cream before it melts because we're not going to be home in time. So this is the MySpool. It's a little spendy. So I think the Reliance Guardians are, I think, $15 or something like that. This is just under 60. Sometimes you can get it for a little bit less. It goes on sale from time to time. But it will kind of capture everything that's happening in your freezer or your refrigerator if it doesn't break. So
is there a link available? I'm looking for it right now.
You know what? I will find a link and I will put it in.
Is it going in the chat?
Yeah. Well, I'll have a link in the chat. I will make that happen for everybody. It's the spool. What's it called? Power thing. Let's see what it's called.
Your audio. It's funny. Every once in a while it gets really loud. I don't know if that's just me or if everyone's hearing that, but it's like,
does everyone hear me being super loud?
It's just on occasion. It wakes you up. So it's a very commanding presence to your voice.
All right. You know what? I'll find something and I'll put it.
I saw that my gas cans just went up in price by 20.
Yeah, because of the demand from the chat. Everyone.
Yeah, I think everyone in the chat room went over there, and
they're just buying everything. It's a whole thing. Bernie apparently also says my voice is too loud. That's the thing.
It's really good now, but just every once in a while it just comes on. I know that you got some new XLR cables and stuff. So
yeah. I got a new because to be honest, I didn't love the way that my audio sounded in the stream. Normally, when I have my videos, I tweak it a little bit, so it kind of softens some of the tones a little bit, and my voice feels a little more melodic and pleasant to the ear. Yours is fantastic. Mine, I'm a little self-conscious. So I got the Wave XLR that has an equalizer in it, so you can kind of make some adjustments before it
just went loud right there.
It just went loud. That's fantastic. I don't know what's happened, but
I used the blue snowball here. Here it is. So it's.
Oh yeah, see, the blue snowball is fantastic,
and I just keep it down there. No one sees it. So.
Yeah, exactly. This is a blue, but it's like a blue stealth or something like that. I don't know. Okay. I don't know if it's good, but it looked cool.
Are we geeking out on studio setups?
Yeah, exactly. I feel like if we've learned nothing, Casey gets things because they look cool. They may or may not be effective, but that's fine. By the way, my wife has chimed into the chat, and she would like me to know that she was not aware that it was $60. and is perhaps not happy about that. And I'm sorry.
Is your wife Bitcoin is a scam, or is that something?
Yeah, Bitcoin is a scam.
Sorry. You spent $60.
Yeah, Pony Girl just thinks that my voice sounds awful. It's just my tone. It's just I'm naturally abrasive, and that's what it is. That is likely possible. But through the power of technology, I can adjust it and change it and make myself sound better. So that's what I'm going to try to do.
Awesome.
All right, where are we at? What's happening?
So we I think we're like, are we at to prep or not to prep, or are we on the
yes, we're at to prep or not to prep. We've passed through what you did and show and tell, and we're into to prep or not to prep. With this week's topic being so the question from Pigs Fly was, if money was no option, what are 3 preps that you would buy if money was no object? I think we have to caveat this by saying, like, land is off the table, because I think every prepper would love to have like a whole bug out location thing if money was no object.
Mm-hmm.
But I feel like that's just kind of a like that would be the top of everyone's list of like, I would love to have like a bug out location with a bunker and all those sorts of things. So I think to make it more tangible, maybe we focus on other things as opposed to land. Does that sound fair?
That sounds good. Yeah, I mean,
okay.
Are we going back and forth? Are we?
Sure. You kick it off.
All right. I don't know. This is kind of like the land thing, but I think you could still add it to your house. I mean, I would get an Atlas survival shelter. Like that's
good call.
And I would have it like in the backyard somewhere, probably, or just something along those lines. Even if it's a smaller one, they make a lot of different sizes. Whether it's like something, a room that you put in the basement that's completely sealed, but with all like the crazy stuff, there's World War III talks and all sorts of things going on. It'd be nice to have a underground bunker at your home that you could go to, like the Bat Cave. I would love to have that, and then there'd be a place that I could store stuff, and it'd also be really cool. Like, would it be cool to have like this podcast like just live from the bunker, like from the underground bunker? I think it'd be awesome. Like if you had,
I think that would be great, especially since we mentioned World War III, and this is now the demonetized.
Oh man, do we just get demonetized? Sorry, I thought when I said NATO that for the NATO gas can that we got demonetized right then. But
I mean, that's also possible. I mean, look, it's amazing that we're monetized at all at this point. But,
okay, sorry about that. I meant I meant something else. World War Z, the movie. That's what I was talking about.
Exactly. Those Atlas shelters are very cool. I would.
Yeah, that would be my first pick.
Yeah, I think if I were either rebuilding our house or something like that, I would love to put one of those, some sort of a panic room or something in for that sort of a scenario. So for me, I'm going to lead off. And this is amazingly enough, I have actually looked into this one. But if my wife thought the $60 alarm was a thing, this was never going to happen. But a duck boat.
You're going to start doing some prepping tours.
So what I was thinking about was, so I don't know exactly where you are in the Seattle-ish area. But for us, Portland has a river that runs through the middle of it that separates the west side from the east side. And if you're trying to we are on the west side of that river. So if an earthquake or something happens and we need to try to get east and evacuate or whatever, we're going to have to cross at least one river, maybe a couple. And so having like a duck boat where you could have, because they're kind of like they're those amphibious bus looking things. You can put a lot of people in it. So we have family that's close by, and our plan is for them to come and bug in with us and then evacuate together. So there would be plenty of room for them. There would be plenty of room for our supplies. And then we could just basically drive our way. We'd love some sort of a road, something, but maybe we put some big tires on it. Yeah. But to get to getting across the river with our supplies, we could just swim across the river and that would be fine. But being able to have all the supplies and everything that we want, having some sort of a vehicle would be really helpful. So duck boat is one of those things. I actually found one on Craigslist, but it was like $50,000. And I knew that was not going to fly. But
Yeah,
if money's no object, sign me up for that.
Yeah, that sounds awesome. Yeah, I think like a bug out boat is something that's like would be really cool for a lot of preppers. Like you could like your bug out location could be an island. That would be pretty sweet.
Prep Talk
Yeah,
Live
prep
could
talk.
be
Yeah, you
from the
do it.
boat.
You do it from the boat, and I'll do mine from the Atlas Survival Shelter. That'll be.
I love all of these things.
Yeah,
I love all of those ideas.
So we're looking for
Fantastic.
sponsors to help pay for some of these. Is that what we're going to be pushing for next?
Atlas and Duck Boats Unlimited. I don't know if that exists.
A GoFundMe or something.
Yeah, exactly. I feel like that would be fantastic. I love that.
All right, let's make it happen. So
okay,
let's get those super chats going.
Yeah, exactly. Bernie, no, I'm not going to your house. I'm not. No.
Yeah. Bernie's a good cuddler, so you might rethink that.
I mean, he could keep me warm at night, but I don't know that that's exactly what we're going to need in that time.
Yeah. So I think like my next one, I guess if money was not an option, I'm not sure what exactly, but like a better bug out vehicle, like whether it be like the Tesla truck or a humongous Hummer or tank type thing. I think that'd be and like you didn't care about like the gas price or whatever. Like I think that'd be pretty awesome. Like as a prepper, I would do it. I'd have it in all these videos and stuff. And, because like we just have like family vehicles and stuff. But I think having like if I were to be more reasonable, I guess something that you could do overlanding with like that kind of tricked out setup, like what you see from like Last Line of Defense and some of those other guys on YouTube. I think that'd be pretty sweet.
Yep. Yeah. Finance Amy also would like to know how much gas the duck boat would cost. Probably just about as much as the overlanding vehicle would.
Yeah.
The duck boat would cost $50,000. The gas would be $380,000. Yeah. So it's about a wash. I like the idea of the overlanding vehicle. I'm going to add in there some sort of either overlanding or like an RV trailer. Because I've got a 4Runner, which I love. I haven't fully tricked it out yet. I've done some initial tricks, but I haven't fully tricked it out yet. And I would love to either fully trick it out. And my friend Patrick, shout out to Patrick and Accessory Outfitters and in the Beaverton area, if you're in the mood for getting your truck tricked out, he does a fantastic job. And he has given me the plan for how we're going to trick out my 4Runner. I have to make enough money to trick it out, but he has the plan. So I think doing something like that, or having the prepper trailer that we've talked about, or an RV, something that could be a mobile home base that we could store supplies in, that you would have some of the essential shower, water, some of that sort of stuff.
You could be the Heisenberg of prepping.
Exactly. Something like that I think would be fantastic. So I'll put that on my list as well.
I see that Pigsfly was asking if money was no object, what would your communication? Okay, so if I guess if money was no object, I'd get everyone's satellite phones, and that's probably what I would do. So
or carrier pigeons. I would train
like Mike Tyson,
thousands of carrier pigeons, and I would have an army of carrier pigeons to just.
I wonder if that would be like a prepping thing, like if it was the like apocalypse type scenario, like because in Game of Thrones they always sent the ravens out, like that's those are ravens or EMP proof, and I imagine the carrier pigeons are too. So
yeah, exactly. We could get into falconry. I think that would be a thing. But
things I've never thought about in the my preparedness planning always come to light in this show. So.
Like I said, the best podcast for preppers and non-preppers by far. It's hands down. There's no competition to what we put together here.
Yeah. Now Apper's like going big on some of these like preps. Like 750 pounds of beans, 500 pounds of pasta.
Okay. Apper's just showing off now.
I
think he's just showing off. I think what he's done is his keyboard has a sticky 0. And so I think as he's just typing, it just continues to add
1,100 gallons of water.
How would you? Oh, well, okay.
Wait, it's 1,500, 15.
No, 15. So, okay. So I think I'm starting to figure out what he's got going on here. Okay. So 1,100 gallons of water is 4 IBC totes. So like I have 2 IBC totes. So I got 550. So he's got 4 of those. The rice So that's, I mean, 2,000 pounds of rice is what, 40, 50-pound bags? Yeah. So it's 40, 50-pound
A
bags.
lot of rice.
That's a lot of rice. I'm curious of whether or not he, it took him 3 years to accumulate. Well done, sir.
Yeah,
Did you put it in like Mylar bags, or is it stored? Like, how are you storing this? That's, I think, my question is. I can see how
it's all in the kitchen, like on the counter. It's like his wife is pissed off right now about it. It's kind of a touchy subject right now.
So when we would go to Costco every once in a while, and you go by the toilet paper aisle,
Yeah.
occasionally there's like a weird level of toilet paper, and it can kind of make like a little seat if you're like a kid.
Yeah.
And so I have pictures of the kids sitting on like the like toilet paper thrones at Costco.
Yeah.
I would imagine this is like all of his things are like, do you want to sit on the water tote, or do you want to sit on the rice throne? You know, the carpet is just beans, and they just are walking like that's how
I kind of imagine it.
Yeah. Yeah. It's in Mylar. So like I would imagine maybe like, you know, those solar ovens that you can get that have the reflective foil thing. He's probably that's probably how he heats his house too. He has them around the house like sandbags. Yeah. And it just reflects in
2,000 pounds of rice as sandbags for tactical purposes. That's
exactly.
Awesome. Again, things that we've never thought about, but we're covering them here. So
it's flood prevention, it's heating, it's solar energy, and it's food. Abra, I think, has won the game at this point. Like, if we were to like, okay, who's won? You know, Canadian prepper with his electric bike, he lost.
Yeah.
You know, city prepper, no, you know, no, he doesn't have this sort of a situation. I think Abra won. I think he won. That's fantastic. Everyone is applauding Abra right now. Well done, sir.
Did we get to your third one? Because I said satellite phones, and then
we
were kind of we were oohing and ahhing about Abra's setup. So
yeah, exactly. I think that was fantastic. You know, a third one, I was thinking sat phone this afternoon, and you took it, so I'll leave that one there. That's all right. You know, there was a thing around like Starlink and some of that that I was thinking about. The prepper trailer, I think, would be something, you know, if you didn't do an RV, if you did like a trailer, that's one of those things that like is on my list, but it's going to take a while to get there. Mostly because I have to find a place to store it. I have the green light from my wife. She's like, you can get a trailer, but you have to figure out a place to store it. And I'm like, that's problematic.
Wow.
So yeah, so I think those are probably up there. You know, maybe solar panels for the house. I think that would be another thing.
Yeah, I was going to say that if because I forget they were asking about the communications, because my next one was going to be the solar panel. So
yeah, I mean, based on what we were getting for proposals for solar, you know, over the last month, because that was something we were looking at, and then like when we did the math, like it doesn't necessarily pencil out as a great investment financially yet. It's getting closer, but for us it's just a little bit off. So it would be more of a like, hey, we want to do this for the environment and we want to do it for other reasons, but like it's not going to necessarily save us on our electric bill for a while. So if money was not an object, I would be like 100% throw the panels up and add the batteries, because the batteries were like between $10,000 and $20,000 per battery, and you'd probably want somewhere between like 2 and 4 to really like run your whole house. So yeah, if money was no object, I do solar panels and batteries.
Yeah, that's a lot of super chats though, right there. That's
exactly. So yeah, so everyone jump in with the super chats to fund the solar experiments that we're gonna have.
I like Dominic's chat about please continue to be humorous preppers. We all need humor. I think that's one of like the best, the funnest things on this show. It's not the doom zoom. It's I never thought today that we'd be talking about using Abra's 2,000 pounds of rice as a tactical sandbag setup for the apocalypse. That thought never crossed my mind ever, but now I can't get it out of my head. And I feel it needs to be a TV show.
Yeah, many of the things that we talk about, I did not plan on, and I think that is the joy of this show. Is like, hey, we have a very rough outline intentionally. and we just let it go where it's going to go. And after about 45 minutes, we end it. That's the way it is.
I think I already got us demonetized already from, so it's downhill from there. So
yeah, exactly. All right. So I did see, because we'll go to questions, even though we're already there. So Pony Girl wanted to know about EMP Shield for home and vehicle.
Yeah. And, so you could get like something like one of these type of things for your you could get it for your home to put it into your circuit breaker.
Speaking of rare electronic protection device, Tup has one right here. He has it in multiple sizes.
I have multiple locations. So you can get that for your circuit breaker box. I unfortunately I can't test it myself because I don't know how to. I can't make my own EMPs, so I can't vouch for it. So like I would like a flashlight, but you can go with that. And what I see, there's Mission Darkness. Do I have that in our hand handy? Mission Darkness, they make the Faraday bags, and I use those for my small electronics, but they have some for vehicles. So if you want to have your vehicle in a Faraday bag, they make one large enough that you can do that. And if you want, you drive it in the garage and then you put it in this big bag. It's
the car is 40,000. The bag is 120,000.
Yeah.
So it is what it is. I have some of the Mission Darkness fanny packs and some of the little they're like the fob pouches that I use for flash drives and my cold storage wallet for crypto and stuff.
Yeah, me too.
So I have those. I haven't looked into the EMP Shield, mostly because when I saw it, I was like, okay, is this a thing that like a company makes and has found a bunch of people on YouTube to like make videos about, and like we'll never know if it works or not, but like it's a thing and a bunch of people got it, or like is it real and works? And I haven't had time to research it. So if Tup has it and he says that he's done the research, then I would trust him.
Well, I have it's one of those things you have to be kind of careful on, because like a lot of people say, oh, that's snake oil or whatever it is. But I talked to the lead scientist guy from EMP Shield, and I had everyone, hey, I had people send me their questions because I want to stump this guy, and he gave me a lot of peace of mind for a lot of the stuff that was said during that, and how some of the stuff makes sense. And I figured, it doesn't hurt anything to have it there. So I have it on. I have these EMP shields on my on our vehicles. So and it's always, whenever we take it into the shop, like the mechanics are like, man, what's that EMP thing you got on your in your engine? That's awesome. They think it's pretty cool. So
here's my question.
Yeah.
If you have them on your vehicles, what are the two on the floor in your house doing?
These ones here, you mean? Or
yeah.
Those, one of them is for this one is actually for like the energy solar bank, so you could have that plugged in, and this protects like your solar your power bank basically.
Okay.
And then the other one's for something else, so I just haven't installed that one yet, but I like I like having a lot of props on hand, kind of like Carrot Top for our live stream, so because you never know when I'm going to bust out. So
if you've got Abra, who has 3,000 pounds of everything, and then you have Tup, who has 19 EMP shields just sitting behind him, just in case anybody needs one. Here we go.
I've been waiting for someone to bring it up in a live stream, so I finally got it. So.
All right. If money was no object, what would you do to the outside of your home? Well, a moat, first off, with a drawbridge. That I think is number one.
I would put like a bulletproof panels like in the walls and the glass, bulletproof glass and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And I might even consider putting like I forget how they kind of block some of like the EMF type stuff, but there's some certain paint that they would do, but it's super expensive. But like this was last night, I woke up in the middle of the night because there's gunshots outside of our. Again, I'm probably gonna get us demonetized, but there was there. I put my daughter to sleep. I fell asleep because she's really warm. If I go cuddle, and then like the middle of the night, I hear gunshots outside, and I'm like, oh my gosh. So and then I hear our alarm system goes, back door kitchen open. It's what it's, and I'm like, oh my gosh, someone's in the house. And so I go. rushing down, ready to rumble.
Prepared.
And then and then my wife's like, hey, what are you doing? I'm like, what do you mean, what am I doing? I heard gunshots and the alarm went off. And
yeah.
And it's the
she
middle
was
of the
like,
night.
well, there was a raccoon. I had to take care of it. What did you want from me? Yeah.
And she stays up till like 4 a.m. oftentimes because she watches some certain shows and stuff on Netflix and like binge watches. And so but it scared me so much. And so then I couldn't go back to bed because I'm like, well, what if there's some like some stray bullet comes through? Then I started thinking about, well, it'd be nice to have some bulletproof glass and some panels instead of like in the drywall area. Then I'll feel safe. But anyway,
yeah,
that was a long story. I'm sorry.
I think
I'm sorry, algorithms, if I talked about sensitive stuff.
I'm glad that you survived.
Yeah, I mean,
that's fantastic. I'm glad that your wife took care of whoever was outside. Apparently, that was involved in that.
Yeah, I don't know.
She was really pissed, is what happened. She was really pissed.
She was just like, "Oh, you heard that too? Yeah, I thought I heard that." And yeah, I heard that.
She's like, I thought I had the suppressor on. Anyway, I think one of the things I've seen is 3M, I think it is, makes a film that you can put on your windows.
Yeah.
So if you don't want to switch all your windows out for like bulletproof glass or whatever, I think they make it for like, it's meant for like hurricanes, but it will also stop other projectiles. So I have thought about possibly adding that to the windows. I'm less concerned about someone trying to force their way through the siding and studs of the house. But the windows, we have a lot of windows on the front of our house and stuff. So I've thought about at least at the minimum putting it on that just to be safer. But yeah, 100%. There's a lot of people referencing Chicago.
Yeah, because Chicago's rough.
Yeah, exactly.
I went to I was last in Chicago. This is probably year 2000 or something like that, and I didn't get the whole L train. Like I didn't know how to use it back then, and I ended up in a really rough part of town. I wanted to go find where Michael Jordan played basketball, and somehow I ended up like, I don't know where it was, but it was like there's a lot of like gang activity and stuff, and I'm like, looking like me over there, so this dorky guy there. This guy's crazy. But yeah, it was
that was probably the best. There's a lot of comedians that have talked about like the best defense, is just to act like you're crazy, and then people will avoid you. So you just act like you, and everything's fine. Oh man! All right, I'm out of ideas at this point.
Yeah,
I feel like we have run the gamut.
We have covered a lot, I think.
We have covered all kinds of things.
Yeah, we've talked about bulletproof siding for the house. We talked about
we got our first super chat.
Boats. We got a super.
It's amazing. I still am floored by that thing. So yeah, I think we did that. I think we have run out of ideas. Yeah. So I think we'll wrap it up.
I think it's very successful. Sorry again for missing last week. We wanted to come big on this one. So we talked about gas. We talked about
we caffeinated beforehand. Yes. We were ready to go.
I've been hydrated for this one. So
exactly.
With a little lime juice, but yeah, that's a good one.
Did you say it's a little wine juice?
Lime juice. I've been trying to.
Oh.
So instead of when I drink water, I put a little splash of lime in there now, or lemon, whatever I can find. So,
maybe next time a little wine. Who knows? It might work too.
Yeah.
Well, thank you all for joining us. It's been a wonderful episode. We will be back next week, likely on Thursday. We're working on some scheduling, but it will not be on Wednesday.
I definitely have something on Wednesday night next week where the boss is calling me in, and I gotta be there, and I'm like, well, I got a show on Prep Talk. Exactly. I don't care.
Don't you understand? We have the #1 podcast for preppers and non-preppers. We have to be there. That's important.
So I think on Thursday would work a little better for
and I'm gonna need an extra day to try to figure out what's going on with my microphone, so I'm not blasting anyone's ears out going forward. But thank you all for joining us. We've had a wonderful time. We appreciate you all joining us every week. We will see you next week at some point. Keep your eyes posted. Don't forget to hit the like button if you haven't already. Share it with your friends. Every week we seem to get more and more people. So let's keep that momentum happening. Sharing with more people and getting more people to enjoy the fun that is us, because I think we're pretty fun. And we'll talk to you next week. Thanks a lot. Bye.
See ya.